Hello again. This is Peter McKay, Business Librarian at the University of Florida. In this segment, we're going to look at sources that you can use to research companies. After you get to the Business Library, on the left-hand side, there's a menu of information. You'll notice that one of the selections is called Company Information. When I click on that link, I get two guides, Company Information Center and Company Research Tutorial. We'll start with the Company Information Center. Essentially, this is what I call a subject center. There are a lot of different subject centers in the Business Library. There's one for company information, industry information, international business, real estate, the bond market, tax, accounting, and others. The home pages in each of these centers are designed to be very similar. In the left-hand column, you'll see a list of databases. These are subscription databases, and all of them have some kind of company information. For example, Hoover's Online has company reports. So I can do a report on a company like Google, for example. And I'm going to select Google Incorporated based in Mountain View with $29 billion in revenue. This brings up a home page for Google. You'll see that there's a description. There's a menu of sources of information just beneath the name of the company. The body of the first page contains a description of the company, explaining who Google is and what they do. Then there's some additional information on the right-hand side and links to lots more information. So I can get the full description, for example. And this will give me much more detail about Google. I can go in and get a history of the company. One section that I find particularly helpful is the products and operations. This shows Google sales. And here's what you're going to see. In the U.S., makes up almost 50% of their sales. The UK is 11%, and other countries are 41%. So Google is a very international company, a global company, but it does derive a very substantial sum of its revenue from the U.S. Furthermore, when you go down to the next session, you will realize that most of the money that Google makes is from advertising. So essentially, Google is like a big media company, like a television broadcast network. What they're trying to do is attract eyeballs. And that's why they give away search and give away a lot of other products to attract people to use the site and sell their ads through the site, and also partnering with other companies. You can get financial information. Another valuable section in these reports is the competitors list. This picks out some of the companies that Google competes with. And usually they put the top competitors at the top. I don't see it on this display. Perhaps in a different one. Yeah. Well, this looks at the financials. Now, you can also get stock quotes, financial market data. If I select financial market data, I can get balance sheets, income statements. By the way, notice that Hoover's actually gets this particular segment of information from Morningstar. So they partner with Morningstar to provide the financials. I'm going to go back to the Company Information Center. Hoover's is featured in the middle. There's another database called OneSource. OneSource is similar to Hoover's, but actually contains substantially more information. If I do a search on Google, I get a list of companies, including some international companies. I'm going to click on the one traded on NASDAQ. And this will bring up a home page for Google. It's similar in a way to Hoover's, except the menu is on the left here. So all of these links on the left-hand side link to additional information. One of the types of information that OneSource has that Hoover's does not provide us is they do have a selection of analyst reports. For example, there's one from Global Data. And this is a 25 to 30 page report, which is essentially a financial and strategic analysis of Google's business. This was published March 29th, very up to date. You'll see that they use SWOT analysis, which you're probably familiar with from some of your business classes. And there are a selection of other reports here. You can also get competitor reports. These are the companies that OneSource picks out as being their top competitors. Amazon, Apple, eBay, Microsoft, Yahoo. And you can get reports on all of these competitors as well. You can also access the SEC filings through OneSource. The key filing that we're going to look for is actually the 10K. Okay, Google filed their 10K. The 10K is the annual report that publicly traded U.S. companies file with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Similar to an annual report, but actually more informative. You have choices on how to display this. You can get it as HTML, PDF, or Word. And it's a plain vanilla looking document. They don't put any of the pictures because it's not a public relations document. But it does have key information about the company. And in this section, Part 1, Item 1, Business, Google goes into great detail to describe its business activities, how they see the industry, what the risks are, what their global footprint is, and many other details. So even though it's kind of buried, it actually provides a wealth of information and is excellent for evaluating a company's strategy. I want to finish up by pointing out a few more resources regarding companies. In particular, there's a company research tutorial. This tutorial is a 10-step tutorial that takes you through a process of thoroughly researching a company and explaining how to proceed step by step using the business library's databases. For example, you see in step 1, we're identifying the company. So we want to find out what line of business it's in, where is it located, what size is it, and after that, normally I would look for a profile of the company. And in fact, I can often combine steps 1 and 2 because Hoover's going to have all the identifying information, as will OneSource, but they'll have much more as well. And so I can build a profile of the company. So in a sense, it's like getting to know a person where you learn what they do for work, what they do, where they live, and essentially who they are. From there, with companies, you can go in and find articles about them. We're going to look at article databases in another segment, so we'll hold that. The company website is a rich source of information. Publicly traded companies have to file financials, which are also very revealing. And as I said, we have some investment research reports now. Step 8 is to survey the industry and competition. And that's what we're going to discuss in the next segment on industry research.